Real English Lounge.
The art of everyday English.
Welcome back to Real English Lounge, your real place to learn English through honest conversations.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Claire. And today we're playing Would You Rather with a question that's actually harder than it sounds. Would you rather be the funniest person in the room or the smartest?
I already know my answer, and I suspect it says something slightly concerning about me.
We'll get there. First, the real answer to this question depends on the room.
Which sounds like a dodge, but it's actually the entire lesson today.
We're going to argue both sides and give you the English for talking about humor, intelligence, and social dynamics, the vocabulary people actually reach for in these conversations.
Subscribe on YouTube if this podcast is helping your English.
Comment challenge. Tell us your honest answer, funniest or smartest, and why, in English, in the comments.
Level check, B1 to B2. Today's about nuance, arguing a position, then complicating it, which is a genuinely advanced conversational skill.
Word tour today. Witty, charisma, deadpan, insightful, endearing, and overshadow. 6 words for the conversation about being the smartest or funniest person in the room.
Okay, I'll go first. Funniest, no hesitation.
Why?
Because funny is remembered. Nobody quotes the smartest thing said at a dinner party a year later. Everybody quotes the funniest thing.
That's actually true. I can't recall a single smart comment from any party I've been to, but I remember jokes from years ago.
Exactly. Humor is sticky. It's also transferable. You can be funny in almost any room, any topic, any group.
Whereas being smart is often topic specific. You can be brilliant about tax law and completely useless discussing football at a barbecue.
Right. Intelligence needs the right context to actually land. Humor just needs timing. There's a school version of this too. Think about it. Every class has a class clown, and every class has the smart kid. Which one do people actually remember fondly 20 years later?
Almost always the class clown, honestly. Even people who weren't friends with them remember the jokes.
Meanwhile, the smart kid usually gets remembered functionally. Oh yeah, they were really smart, but rarely with the same warmth.
Which is a little unfair, actually, because being smart in school often means doing more of the actual work everyone else benefits from.
True, but memory isn't fair. It's driven by emotion, and humor creates a stronger emotional hit than competence does.
Okay, my turn. I'm taking smartest, and here's my case.
Go ahead.
Being funny gets you liked in the room. Being smart gets you trusted with the room. The decisions, the responsibility, the actual influence.
That's a real distinction. Liked versus trusted.
Right. The funniest person rarely gets handed the project. The smartest person usually does, even if they're less fun at the party afterward.
So you're optimizing for long-term outcomes over short-term social capital.
Exactly. Funny is a nice bonus. Smart is the thing people actually build careers, reputations, and decisions around.
Counter-argument, smart people get listened to in meetings. Funny people get invited back to everything else. Life is mostly the everything else.
Okay, that's genuinely a good point.
Most of life isn't a boardroom. It's dinners, group chats, long car rides, waiting rooms. In almost all of those, funny wins.
Which is exactly why the real answer is depends on the room, because the two traits get valued completely differently depending on the room's actual purpose.
Let's talk about what the room actually means here, because it's doing a lot of work in that phrase.
Right. The room is shorthand for context. A work meeting room, a first date, a family dinner, a group of strangers at a party, completely different rooms, completely different value systems.
In a work meeting, being the smartest person usually gets you heard and eventually promoted.
In the first date, being funny usually gets you a second date.
Nobody's swiping right because someone mentioned their spreadsheet skills.
Heh, unless the spreadsheet joke is genuinely funny, in which case, congratulations, you found the overlap.
The overlap is actually the ideal answer nobody picks, because the question forces you to choose.
Let's talk about the vocabulary for describing each type of person, because English has some really specific words here.
For funny, there's witty, which isn't just funny. It's quick, clever humor, usually verbal, usually fast.
A witty person responds fast, in the moment with something clever, not a rehearsed joke, a genuine quick reaction.
Then there's deadpan, humor delivered completely seriously, with no expression showing it's a joke.
Deadpan humor works because of the contrast. contrast. The delivery is flat, but the content is absurd, and that gap is what makes it funny.
For smart, insightful is the word that actually matters more than intelligent.
Why insightful specifically?
Because insightful isn't about knowing facts.
It's about noticing something true that other people missed. It's intelligence applied to actually seeing things clearly.
Which honestly overlaps more with humor than people think. A lot of the best jokes are actually just insightful observations delivered with timing.
That's a really good point.
Wit and insight might be more related than funny and smart, as separate categories suggest.
Let's talk about charisma for a second, because it's the thing that actually determines whether either trait lands well socially.
Charisma is a personal magnetism.
The quality that makes people want to be around someone, listen to them, root for them.
You can be smart without charisma, and you'll be respected, but maybe not particularly liked. You can be funny without charisma too, actually, and just come across as trying too hard.
Charisma is what makes both traits actually work in a room instead of just existing in a room.
Which suggests the real answer to funniest or smartest might actually be neither if you don't have charisma to deliver it.
We just answered a different, harder question than the one we started with.
Let's talk about endearing, because that's a specific, softer kind of charm that doesn't require being the funniest or the smartest at all.
Endearing means inspiring affection.
Often through something small, genuine, or a little imperfect.
Rather than impressive.
Someone can be endearing by being awkward in a charming way, or genuinely enthusiastic about something small. It's warmth, not performance.
Which is actually a third option nobody considers in this Would You Rather. You don't have to be the funniest or the smartest. You just have to be likable in a way people actually enjoy.
Let's talk about the downside of each trait too, because both come with real social costs.
The smartest person in the room risks being condescending, even without meaning to.
Correcting people, over-explaining, making others feel less capable.
And the funniest person risks derailing serious moments, or using humor to avoid actually saying anything real.
There's also the risk of overshadowing.
When one person's trait is so dominant that it doesn't leave room for anyone else to contribute.
Overshadow is a great word for that. Literally casting a shadow that hides everyone else nearby.
A room with one very funny or very smart person can accidentally become a room where nobody else feels able to speak.
Which means the actual best answer might not be funniest or smartest. It might be whichever one, in this specific room, makes space for other people instead of eating all the air in it.
That's a genuinely better answer than either option in the original question.
Let's go back to personal answers, now that we've complicated it properly. Final answer?
Smartest, but only because I think being smart,
done right, quietly includes noticing when to be funny.
Funniest, but with the caveat that the funniest people I actually admire are also secretly some of the most insightful people I know.
Which means we've basically both landed on actually both at the same time, ideally.
The safest, least interesting, most honest answer in Would You Rather history.
There's one more angle worth mentioning before we move on.
Which trait ages better over an entire lifetime?
Interesting question. My instinct says smart, actually.
Why?
Because being funny at 25 and being funny at 75 require different things. The energy, the cultural references, the pace. Humor needs constant updating.
Whereas insight tends to deepen with age almost automatically, just from having seen more of life happen.
So the class clown might age out of the role a little, while the insightful person often becomes more insightful, not less.
Which might be the most convincing argument for smartest in this entire episode. And we saved it for basically the end. Let's do the word tour before we completely abandon the format of this segment.
Time for the word tour. 6 words from today's conversation.
Let's start with a word for quick, clever humor.
Witty.
Witty means quick and clever with words, especially in humor. Fast, sharp,
Usually unplanned. A witty response happens in the moment, not after thinking about it for an hour.
You can say her witty comeback got the whole table laughing instantly, or he's witty in meetings, always finding the funny angle nobody else saw.
Witty is like a fencer's quick parry. Fast,
Precise, and over before anyone realizes exactly what happened.
Let's repeat it. Witty.
witty.
Our next word describes personal magnetism, the quality that draws people in.
Charisma.
Charisma means a compelling charm or magnetism that makes people naturally drawn to someone. Charisma isn't about being the funniest or smartest. It's about how someone makes a room feel.
You can say, he doesn't say much, but he has this
Quiet charisma that makes people listen anyway. Or charisma can be loud and outgoing, or calm and grounded. It comes in different
different forms.
Charisma is like gravity. You don't always see it working, but you can feel yourself being pulled in anyway.
Let's repeat it. Charisma.
Charisma.
This next word describes humor, delivered with a completely serious, flat expression.
Deadpan.
Deadpan means delivering something funny with no change in expression or tone. Completely serious on the surface. The humor comes entirely from the contrast.
You can say his deadpan delivery made the joke land even harder because you almost missed that it was one. Or deadpan humor doesn't work if you smile too early.
Deadpan is like a poker face hiding a winning hand. Flat on the outside, something completely different underneath.
Let's repeat it. Deadpan.
Deadpan.
Our next word describes intelligence that actually notices something true.
Insightful.
Insightful means showing a clear, deep understanding of something, noticing what others missed, not just knowing more facts. An insightful comment reframes how you see a situation.
You can say, her insightful question completely changed the direction of the meeting. Or, the best comedians are often deeply insightful about human behavior.
Insightful is like turning on a light in a room you thought you already knew. Suddenly, you see furniture that was there the whole time.
Let's repeat it. Insightful.
Insightful.
This next word describes a softer, more genuine kind of charm.
Endearing.
Endearing means inspiring affection, often through something small, genuine, or slightly imperfect, rather than impressive. An endearing quality makes people fond of someone, not just impressed by them.
You can say, his nervous laugh is honestly endearing, not embarrassing at all. Or there's something endearing about someone who's genuinely excited about a niche hobby.
Endearing is like a slightly crooked smile in a photo. Not perfect, but somehow the exact thing that makes it feel real.
Let's repeat it. Endearing.
Endearing.
Our last word describes taking up so much space that others can't be seen.
Overshadow.
To overshadow means to make someone or something seem less important, often unintentionally, just by being more dominant or noticeable. The funniest or smartest person in a room can accidentally overshadow everyone else.
You can say, his big personality tends to overshadow quieter people in group conversations. Or, try not to let one strong opinion overshadow the rest of the discussion.
Overshadow is like standing directly in front of a light. You're not doing anything wrong, but everyone behind you is suddenly in the dark.
Let's repeat it. Overshadow.
Overshadow.
That's the word tour. Witty, charisma, deadpan, insightful, endearing, overshadow.
6 words for the conversation about being the smartest or the funniest person in the room, and everything that comes with it. Let's close this one out. So, funniest or smartest?
Depends on the room, and now you actually have the English to explain why.
And maybe the better goal isn't either one. It's being someone who makes room for everyone else in it too.
So tell us in the comments, funniest or smartest?
And be honest about which room you're picturing when you answer.
Subscribe, give it a like, share it with the funniest or smartest person you know. You'll know which one applies.
They'll know too.
This is Ethan.
And this is Claire.
And you've been listening to Real English Lounge.
Choose wisely or don't. See you next time.
Your English journey doesn't end here.
Keep listening, keep learning, and keep speaking.
Choose your next conversation.
We'll see you in the next episode of Real English Lounge.